This Ask Energy question comes from Margot, and Margot is wondering if she needs to consume calories during training if she is metabolically efficient. Okay, I get this question all the time because there seems to be a little bit of misunderstanding of the metabolic efficiency training concept. Now, a little bit of background. So I created the metabolic efficiency training concept in the mid 2000s, so it's been a while, right? And it seems like the same things or the same thought processes are happening with it in that the point of metabolic efficiency training, of which it's not, is to starve the body to train only your body to use fat and not carbohydrate. That's not the point of metabolic efficiency training. The point is to teach your body to use the stores, either carbohydrate or fat, that you need. So it makes sense if, I mean, this is aside from all the health and longevity benefits of it. I'm just talking about performance and athletics right now. But yes, it does make sense. If you can burn more fat, you can preserve more carbohydrates, which means there will be more carbohydrates in your muscles. So when you really need them, they'll be there, and your gas tank, which I call the carbohydrate tank, will be fuller. Okay. But there's this misconception that, oh, I just need to teach my body how to burn fat. And then if I can do that, I don't have to eat any calories during training. Now, here's the thing. It's actually true. Like if you think about it, if you teach your body to burn more fat, you can actually, and I've had athletes do this too, along with myself, you can go out for a 3, 4 hour training, whatever, and consume no calories. You just drink some water, maybe some electrolytes, right? Yes, because you are teaching your body to burn more fats at moderate to high intensities and certainly low intensities. But should you is the other question. So back to the question, do I need to consume calories during training if I'm already metabolically efficient? Well, it depends, of course, right? I always like to put this in context. What are your goals for the training session? If the training session is super intense, even if it's an hour or two, you actually might need calories from carbohydrates to sustain that intensity, right? To sustain a more of a physiological adaptation. If the goal is just a nice zone one, zone two, nice, steady, easy, so to speak, more aerobic training, then you know what? You may not need calories during, maybe even up to a 3 hour, even 4 hour session, especially if you're metabolically efficient. But I don't want you to think and that you have to fast, you have to restrict calories from your body during training. I don't want you to think that because that's not the case. If you are more efficient at using fat stores as energy during exercise, then you can prolong the time before you consume calories. Absolutely. But again, in the back of your head is you should be asking yourself, just because you can, does it mean you should? Perhaps. Again, everybody is in a different situation. I remember years ago personally when I was doing a lot of ultra running, of which I'm doing now again, and I'll share some of the experiments I'm doing on the YouTube channel, on the eNRG YouTube channel later. But I remember that I would go out for 4 hour sessions, super low intensity, but I would literally just consume electrolytes with water because I was so good at using my fat as energy and my intensity was kept very low. Thus, I didn't need as many carbohydrates as an energy source. But again, it's totally context because even if I use myself as an example again, if I were to do a lot of ultra running training in hills where it's power hiking, maybe some running here and there, that will burn up more of your carbohydrate stores. So you actually might need calories during training. So I guess that's a long way of saying, Margot, put it in context. What is your training looking like right now? What are you trying to do? And more importantly, think about this. What are the physiological adaptations that I'm trying to get from my training? Because that will be the path that leads you to answering the question, should I consume calories during that training session or not? Even if you are metabolically efficient, which of course, everybody should strive for metabolic efficiency training, right? Because of the health benefits, the longevity benefits. And yes, there are some performance benefits too. And listen, just in case you didn't know, and Margot, for you and everyone listening, there are two different nutrient timing systems or strategies, if you will. There's a traditional, which we know from the research and everybody touts like, oh, eat this many grams of carbohydrate, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's called glycogen maximization nutrient timing system. But there's also another one that I actually developed called metabolic efficiency training nutrient timing system. So there are two depending on what your daily nutrition is doing. Because remember, your daily nutrition sets up your body's ability to use or store more fat and carbohydrate. So based on how you're eating is going to kind of predispose you to more the ideal situation for your nutrient timing system. I talk about both in my newest edition, right? If you don't have this yet, pick it up on Amazon or the eNRG Performance website. I added a chapter in here about nutrient timing, so I can actually explain the two different systems and help you utilize them at the right times. Okay, long-winded, but Margot, thank you so much for your question. I look forward to answering the next Ask eNRG question.